Ever wondered where the term Han Chinese comes from? The name for China's largest ethnic group. It all goes back to one of the most magnificent eras in history, the Han Dynasty, from 206 BCE to 220 CE. This dynasty forged the very soul of Chinese civilization. It was a time of unparalleled peace, prosperity, and incredible innovation. Imagine an empire that stretched its borders further than ever before, a government that created systems still admired today, and a legendary trade route that connected the East and West for the very first time. This is the story of the Han Dynasty, a true golden age that laid the foundation for modern China and left a legacy that continues to shape our world. The Han Dynasty didn't just appear out of nowhere. It rose from the ashes of the short-lived but brutal Qin dynasty. The first Qin emperor unified China, sure, but he did it with an iron fist, through forced labor and harsh laws. People were exhausted and resentful. When the Qin fell, China plunged into chaos. It was a time of civil war, with warlords battling for control. Out of this turmoil, a commonwealth rebel leader named Liu Bang emerged victorious. He wasn't a noble, but he was a brilliant strategist and a charismatic leader. In 202 BCE, he declared himself Emperor Gaozu and established the Han Dynasty, choosing Chang'an as his capital. His first challenge was massive: how to heal a fractured nation and win the people's trust. He lowered taxes, eased the harsh laws, and focused on rebuilding the economy. This shift from ruthless legalism to a more compassionate, Taoist-inspired approach of governing by known action gave the people the breathing room they desperately needed. It was this foundation of stability that paved the way for the greatness to come. As the empire stabilized, the Han rulers needed a philosophy to guide their massive state. Emperor Wu, one of the most famous Han emperors, made a pivotal decision. He officially established Confucianism as the state ideology. This wasn't just about reading ancient texts. It was a complete overhaul of the government. Confucianism emphasized morality, social harmony, and respect for authority. To find the best people to run the country, Emperor Wu created the Imperial University, the first of its kind in the world. Here, students studied Confucian classics to prepare for civil service examinations. For the first time, government positions weren't just for the wealthy or wealthy. Anyone, at least in theory, could rise through the ranks based on merit and knowledge. This system created a highly educated and professional class of scholar officials who would govern China for the next 2,000 years. The empire was divided into commanderies and counties, creating a sophisticated administrative network that allowed the central government to effectively manage its vast territory. With a stable government and a growing economy, the Han Dynasty began to look outwards. Emperor Wu was ambitious. To the north, the nomadic Xiongnu tribes were a constant threat, raiding border towns. Emperor Wu launched massive military campaigns that pushed the Xiongnu back, securing the northern frontier and expanding Han territory deep into Central Asia. This expansion wasn't just about military might. It was about trade. The emperor sent his envoy Zhongqian on an incredible journey west to find allies against the Zhong. Though he failed to secure an alliance, Zhongqian returned with breathtaking stories of powerful civilizations, amazing horses, and exotic goods in Central Asia. His reports sparked the emperor's imagination and opened his eyes to the world beyond China. This was the birth of the Silk Road. It wasn't a single road, but a vast network of trade routes that stretched for thousands of miles, connecting the Han capital of Chang'an all the way to the Roman Empire. Silk lacquerware and bronze flowed west, while wool, gold, silver, and glass traveled east. More than just goods were exchanged. Ideas, technologies, religions like Buddhism, and cultures mingled, transforming every civilization it touched. The political stability and the wealth from the Silk Road fueled an explosion of innovation. The Han Dynasty was a true golden age for science and technology. One of the most significant inventions was paper. Before the Han, people wrote on clumsy bamboo strips or expensive silk. Xiailun, a court official, is credited with perfecting the papermaking process around 105 CE, creating a cheap and effective writing material that revolutionized communication and education. But that's not all. Han scientists created the world's first seismoscope, a brilliant device that could detect earthquakes hundreds of miles away. They charted the stars, documented sunspots, and developed advanced agricultural tools like the iron plow and the wheelbarrow, which dramatically increased food production. In medicine, doctors compiled texts on herbal remedies and pioneered techniques like acupuncture. The economy boomed. The government monopolized the profitable salt and iron industries, providing a steady stream of revenue for its ambitious projects. This era of incredible ingenuity and economic prosperity truly set the Han apart. This prosperity also led to a flourishing of arts and culture. With the invention of paper, literature became more accessible than ever. Historians like Sima Qian wrote monumental works. His records of the Grand Historian became the model for all future Chinese historical writing, praised for its detailed narratives and objective style. Poetry also thrived, particularly the Fu style, a long, descriptive form of prose poetry that celebrated the grandeur of the empire, its palaces, and its hunts. In the arts, Han tombs have given us a treasure trove of artifacts. We've found intricate lacquerware, beautiful jade carvings, and stunning bronze mirrors. But perhaps most famously, we've discovered entire armies of ceramic figures depicting soldiers, servants, musicians, and animals. These weren't just decorations. They were meant to serve the deceased in the afterlife, giving us an incredibly detailed and vivid snapshot of Han society and its beliefs. So what was daily life actually like for the average person in Han China? Society was highly structured, based on Confucian ideals. At the top was the emperor, the son of heaven. Below him were the scholar officials, followed by farmers, who were seen as the backbone of the empire. After them came artisans and merchants. While merchants could become incredibly wealthy, they were often viewed with suspicion in the Confucian hierarchy because they didn't produce anything themselves. The family was the cornerstone of society. Respect for one's elders, or filial piety, was the most important virtue. Several generations often lived together under one roof, with the eldest male holding the most authority. For the wealthy, life was luxurious. They lived in multi-story houses with decorated halls, wore fine silk robes, and enjoyed elaborate feasts and entertainment. For the common farmer, life was much harder. They lived in small villages, worked long hours in the fields, and paid taxes to the state in the form of grain and labor. Despite the hardships, they were part of a vibrant community with rich traditions, festivals, and a deep connection to the land. After 4 centuries of glory, the Han Dynasty began to face serious challenges. A series of weak and ineffective emperors sat on the throne, often controlled by powerful court eunuchs, or the families of the empresses. This led to corruption and intense political infighting at the capital. At the same time, wealthy landowners began to accumulate vast estates, swallowing up the lands of small farmers. Many peasants lost their land and became tenant farmers, trapped in a cycle of debt and poverty. This growing social inequality created widespread resentment. Natural disasters like floods and famines made things even worse. People grew desperate, and their faith in the mandate of heaven, the idea that the emperor's rule was blessed by the gods, began to crumble. In 184 CE, this desperation exploded into the Yellow Turban Rebellion, a massive peasant uprising. Although the rebellion was eventually crushed, it shattered the authority of the Han government. The empire fractured as powerful warlords, who had been tasked with suppressing the rebels, carved out their own territories and fought amongst themselves for control. In 220 CE, the last Han emperor was forced to abdicate, officially ending the dynasty and ushering in a long period of division known as the Three Kingdoms. Though the Han Dynasty fell, its legacy is immeasurable and everlasting. It created the political and cultural template for all future Chinese dynasties. The civil service examination system, based on Confucian meritocracy, would shape China's government for 2 millennia. The dynasty's name became synonymous with the Chinese people themselves. The Han Ren. The writing system they standardized is the direct ancestor of the characters used today, uniting a vast and diverse country with a common script. The history they wrote, the technology they invented like paper, and the trade routes they opened fundamentally changed the world. The Han Dynasty proved that a unified, stable, and prosperous China was possible. It defined what it meant to be Chinese. creating a powerful cultural identity that has endured through centuries of turmoil and change. The golden age of the Han may have ended, but its brilliant light continues to shine, a timeless testament to one of history's greatest civilizations. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back to the Han Dynasty. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into history. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. See you next time.